right. Good afternoon, guys. We're going to start in an upright, comfortable seat. So, again, it can be any comfortable seat. And just start to anchor into your practice and into this moment. You know, it's called a yoga practice for a reason because it's sometimes you kind of fall off of your practice and then you come back, and sometimes we miss a few days or a few weeks or even a few months. I'm guilty of it. um, but it's a practice, so be gentle with yourself and know that the hardest part is actually showing up. So you are here, you have made it onto the mat. That is huge. That is like the biggest part of your yoga practice. So as you are arriving mentally and emotionally to your practice, just start to check in with yourself physically. Notice not just like the challenging sensations, not just the discomfort in the body, but notice the comfortable stuff too. So just take a minute and check in physically with yourself. Maybe you're seated in a position that's just like really comfortable for your foundation. You're like, I can sit here for a while. Maybe you need to adjust your seat a little bit. Maybe you've been working at the desk and the computer all day and your shoulders are a little tight. And so you kind of drop them away from the ears to create some more space for your chest. And then come back to the breath. So just notice how and where you're breathing. And we're not judging anything. We're just being aware of where we are in this moment. And then check in with yourself mentally. What is the tone of your thoughts? What is the theme of your thoughts? And then check in emotionally. So sometimes that line between the emotional and the mental body is a little bit, gray. So just see if you can feel the difference between both sheaths, both, the mental and the emotional body. And just check in there. And remember that you've dedicated this whole hour to you. So honor yourself, honor your time. Acknowledge what you have going on internally, and then just see if you can put it off to the side of your mat. And know that in 58 minutes, when we're done, you can pick up all of those thoughts again. So now that you've checked in and you know where you are in space on your mat, come back to your breath. Place both hands on the navel and just try and breathe into the belly here. So we call this diaphragmatic breathing, like yogic breathing. A little bit of anatomy. When you take an inhale, your diaphragm is like this upside down balloon. So when you inhale, the diaphragm expands behind the navel. And then when you exhale, the diaphragm draws back up behind the sternum. So see if you can breathe into the belly. So diaphragmatic breath here. Inhales and exhales become equal. You're just allowing yourself to be a little bit more present in this moment. And maintaining this, awareness of your breath. Let's drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Take a conscious exhale. Drop the shoulders nice and far away from the ears. Feel that left side of the neck and shoulders start to expand. You can deepen this stretch by bringing your right hand and just gently placing it on top of the head. This may be enough, but if you want to go deeper, you can take that left hand and just place it on the mat alongside your left hip. If you want to go deeper still, you can start to walk your fingers so that they begin to hover off the mat, turn your palm forward, and your thumb goes up towards the sky. This brings the stretch down through your arm and into your hand. You can take this stretch a little bit deeper if you want. And you're going to draw that left hand behind and around the back and kind of walk the left hand in through like the right hip here. So this is going to be the biggest stretch for the neck and the front of the shoulder, the trap. Take 2 more conscious breaths here. Feel the diaphragm expand. Feel the torso expand. And then as you exhale, see if you can give that area permission to soften. And then to come out of this, you're going to unwind the binds, release the hand from the head, and then inhale, bring your head and neck center. Move slowly here, guys. We have all these little tiny muscles and tendons in this region, and we do not want to move quickly. So another big inhale, and then exhale, left ear, left shoulder. Oh my gosh, I must have slept funny on this one because this is one of those like it hurts so good feelings. Breathe into whatever sensation you're experiencing. You know the steps to go deeper. You can bring your left hand on top of your head for just a little additional weight. You can bring your right hand in line with your hip, walk the fingers away, turn the palm forward, bringing that stretch down into the arm. And then to go the deepest, you're going to take that Hatha bind. That is too much for my right shoulder, so I'm going to hang out here. Breathe into the area where you're feeling resistance and tightness. And then consciously give permission to soften. So consciously let it go. And then slowly you're gonna come out of your deep expression. Pause for a moment with the head and neck nice and neutral. Feel those little tiny muscles and tendons release through that region. And then we're gonna uncross and then recross our legs the other way. All right, just a little bit more neck and shoulder stuff before we start to flow. So moving with the breath, guys. So you've been in the background, you've had these equal inhales and exhales. So as you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. You're gonna feel like the back of your neck get a nice stretch here. And then following the inhale, you draw your chin over to the right, up towards the sky. And then exhale, you're gonna descend down towards the left. So I really encourage you to move slow with your breath. And you can also pause and just breathe into an area that feels particularly tender before you move on with the breath. So you don't have to constantly be moving. You can stay for a round of breath right where you are. We're gonna do just one more rotation in this direction. And then we're gonna switch the rotation. So pause right where you are. Take a full round of breath wherever you are. And then switching the rotation for a few rounds. And notice, does this side feel different? Do you feel a little bit more tight on this side? Maybe there's a little bit more freedom feeling. Again, we're not judging our body. We're just noticing what we're feeling. And then coming back to a neutral head and spine. Starting to bring all of this awareness even deeper into our shoulders and through our rib cage. So really opening up all these energy channels. Inhale, you're gonna press both of the heels of your palms into like the tops of your knees. And then drop your shoulders away and start to squeeze your scapula together. So your hands or your arms should be, you don't wanna lock out through the elbows, but you want some pretty assertive arms here. You're growing your neck and like spine really long. As you exhale, you're gonna take your right shoulder towards your left knee. So you're not actually gonna touch your knee, you're just going in that direction. Pressing through that right hand into the right knee, kind of lengthening through the arm is gonna help you deeper into the shoulder stretch. So you're probably feeling this in that right side rib cage. Take another inhale here. Exhale, let some tension go. Are you clenching your jaw? Are you squinching your face? Inhale, come center. And then exhale, take this stretch on the other side. Oh my gosh, this side's so tight. Breathe into the sensations that you may be experiencing. And you know what, guys? It's okay to like groan in a yoga practice. It's okay if it just feels so good, you let an audible noise out. It's the joy of doing it online, guys. You're in the privacy of your own home. Inhale, come center. Just shake it out a little bit. So starting to kind of draw that awareness down our spine through our rib cage and down into our waist. We're just gonna draw some circles with our hips, and then we'll get into our flow. So you can keep your hands on your knees or thighs here, and just start to bring that awareness and bring that movement down your spine and through your hips. So you can draw really big circles if you like, kind of bringing the shoulders and the back and the spine and the head and neck into the whole mix. Or maybe your circles are a little bit more isolated and you're working on a particular area. We're going to do one more round of circle in whatever direction you're in, and then we're going to switch it. So just switching the circles. And remember, this is like self-exploratory. Feel into the body, breathe into resistance, and then use your exhales to let something go. Right, let's get into like some heat, some core work. We're gonna come onto our back. So nice and supine, guys. Feel the sacrum pressing into the earth. Feel the length of the spine pressing into the earth. Separate your shoulder blades so you can feel the back of the heart pressing into the earth here. Inhale, draw your knees in towards the chest. You can point and flex your toes here. And then your next inhalation, you're going to draw both feet up towards the sky. Let's just find some movement in our legs though. So go ahead and circle out through the ankles. You can point and flex your toes. Just find a little bit of movement as our legs have been bound up until this time. To start, we're going to stack our palms and just place them kind of underneath of our sacrum for a little bit of lower back support. Inhale, press through the heels of your feet. So now we're starting to get into the hamstring. Engage the calves and the thighs. Start to engage your core. So press your sacrum into the earth, draw the navel backwards and towards the spine. And then as you exhale, we're going to release about 30%. The key here is to keep pressing through the heels, keep drawing the toes towards you, keeping the legs engaged and the outer abdominals, so like the obliques, those erector muscles that wrap from your spine around the rib cage to your abdominals. You can probably feel those engaged at this point. Your next exhale, you're going to drop your feet to hover, keep pressing through the heels. So now you're feeling like the lower abdominals, like the muscles below the belly button are engaged at this point, really squeezing the glutes, the outer hips. Keep the breath steady. And then inhale, soles of the feet back up towards the sky. So we're going to move with the breath and hold for 2 rounds each. And we're going to do this for 3 cycles. So when you're ready, inhale, press through the heels. Exhale, release to hover, 2 rounds of breath. Keep the inhales and exhales steady and equal. Keep the body engaged. And then exhale to hover. So we're building heat, that Agni, in our solar plexus. Inhale, soles of the feet towards the sky. So 2 more rounds, just like that, guys. Move with your breath. Your breath cycle and mine are going to be different. But by engaging our core and by anchoring ourselves into the earth, we're like building that heat and that stamina in our solar plexus, which is responsible for that, like our drive, our creative power, our willpower. Keep breathing. Keep the body engaged. We're going to do 1 more round of this core work, and then there's a rest. Maybe for an added challenge, you reach your arms up overhead. All right, last round, guys. Exhale the feet, 30%. Keep pressing the sacrum into the earth. Feel that fire, that Agni, building behind the navel. Lower the feet to hover. 2 more breaths. You can do it, building resilience and resistance, building stamina and strength. And then exhale, release. Take a full body stretch. Take up as much space as you need to. And then you're going to bend the knees and hug them in towards the chest. And then just rock your hips from side to side. Crossing over the ankles. Come back to that like fire that you built in your core, this like creative drive, and then rock up on your spine. And we're coming into a standing forward fold. So keep the eyes closed here so you don't get any dizziness from coming up so quickly. You can take a slight bend in the knees here. This is going to be nice and gentle on the hamstring. And then bring your hands to opposite elbows and just hang in ragdoll. So when we were doing that core work, we were like stretching the abdominal muscles. So we were pulling them apart. Now we're compressing the abdominal muscles. This is helping with assimilation, it's helping with digestion. But what we're doing is now we are stretching the back muscles. Stay here just one more breath, kind of countering what we just did on our back. And with a slow and nice rounded spine, we're just going to roll up to a standing position. Coming into mountain pose. Head and neck are going to come last. You pause, anchor in through your feet. So when I come into mountain pose, I like to kind of wiggle my feet and just like spread the bones apart as much as I can, really feeling my foundation on the earth, squeezing the leg muscles, the glutes, engaging the core. Tilt your tailbone here. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. So we're creating this like perfect like energy line just straight up through the earth. Inhale, we draw both arms up overhead. Exhale, we hinge forward, hands move towards the earth. Inhale to a flat back. And exhale, we round. Half sun salutation. 3 more. Inhale, we rise to standing. Keep the arms going, follow the breath. The arms reach up overhead, collecting the energy of the sun. As you exhale, you move back down towards the earth, releasing and letting go. Inhale, find some assertion through your heart and chest, flat back. Exhale, we're soft, we're humble. And then inhale, we come back up to standing. 2 more times, move with the breath. Inhale, collect the energy of the sun. Exhale, you offer it to the earth, hinge forward. Inhale, find that assertion in your heart. And then exhale, you soften. 1 more time, inhale, you rise, collecting the energy of the sun. Exhale, you hinge at the hips, offering the energy back towards the earth. Inhale to a flat back, lift the heart. Exhale, you soften and you round and we hold. So keep the legs as kind of active as they can be comfortably. So gauge your hamstrings. For some of us, it's going to be more comfortable to have the bend in the knees. But if you can, try to press through your heels and really be active in the hamstrings. We're going to intertwine both of our fingers and just place them on the back of our neck. Just kind of assisting in lengthening through that cervical spine. Sometimes it can be compressed. So just finding a few extra breaths here, lengthening the back body, the hamstrings, giving your back a little bit of a stretch. Creating some space between the vertebrae and your neck. Keeping the hands where they are, guys. As you inhale, close the eyes and just roll up to a standing position. The hands are still on the back of the head. Keep the hands here, keep the eyes closed. Take a couple rounds of breath. And then as we inhale, we're going to inhale, draw the elbows open, take a little back bend through that thoracic spine, gaze up towards the sky. And then as we exhale, the elbows are going to find one another and we find a slight rounding through that thoracic and cervical spine. Inhale, we open, little back bend, lift the heart, offer it up towards the sky. And then exhale, we round. So we're going to do 1 more of those. Inhale, you open, little back bend. So it's just like the chest and sternum that are lifting. You're not really leaning back. Lift the heart, lift the collarbone, and then exhale, we round. And then inhale, draw both arms up overhead as we move through our first vinyasa. Exhale, hinge at the hips as the hands move towards the earth. Inhale up to a flat back. Exhale, we're going to step the right foot back. Drop the right knee. And then inhale into Anjali-asana. So shifting the pelvis forward. Just 1 breath here, moving kind of quick to start. Exhale, both hands come to the mat. You're going to take your left foot back and either move through a vinyasa or skip it. You guys know how I feel about them. You get to do them if you want. Take an extra breath in downward dog if this is really our first one. And then we're going to, still working with the right leg, you're going to inhale, lift the right leg, exhale, step the right foot forward, drop the left knee, and inhale up into Anjalayasana. One full round of breath. Exhale, both hands to the earth, and we're stepping that left foot forward into a forward fold. Inhale, rise to standing. All right, so we're gonna move through that sequence a couple more times. And I know it's a little quick for how we normally practice, but really just building some heat and some energy in the body. And then we'll get into some longer, more like powerful holding poses a little bit later in our practice. So we're going to, just so you guys are aware, we're gonna step back with the left foot, step forward with the left foot. Step back with the right, step forward with the right, step back left, step forward left, back right, forward right. I think I got all that right. Anyway, I'm gonna guide you, but that's what we're doing, okay? So 2 rounds each side, and we've already done 1 round on one side. So on the inhale, draw the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands towards the earth. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, take your left foot back, drop the left knee. Inhale, Anjalayasana. 1 breath. Shift the pelvis nice and heavy here. Exhale, the hands come down. And then you step the right foot back as you move through your vinyasa. This is going to be like the most challenge in our whole practice today. And then we'll meet in downward dog for a couple extra breaths. And we're still working with the left leg. So we're going to inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Drop the right knee. Inhale, Anjalayasana on the second side. You guys got it? I think you got it. Exhale, both hands to the mat, and then we step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we come to standing. So let's keep moving. Draw the arms up overhead, collecting the heat and the energy from the sun. Exhale, we offer that back towards the earth. Inhale, we lift through the heart. We're stepping back right foot now. Exhale, step the right foot back. Drop the right knee. Let the pelvis be heavy. Inhale, lift up, Anjalayasana. Exhale, hands to the mat. I know this is fast. Left foot back. Move through your vinyasa or skip it. I always do. 2 breaths in downward dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Drop the right knee. Last time, Anjalayasana. Exhale, hands to the mat. And then we step forward and fold and hang heavy. Coming back to the breath here. I think we completed 2 sides, 2 rounds each side. I got a little distracted there. So bear with me, I'm human, guys. Hang heavy here. Coming back to your breath, making sure the inhales and exhales are equal. And with a nice rounded spine and a patient inhale, you're gonna roll up to standing. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead. Exhale, offer it back towards the earth, hands towards the earth. Inhale to a flat back. This time we're gonna step back with the left foot. We're gonna drop the left heel, press your weight into the pinky side of the left foot, and then lift up into a warrior 1. So traditional warrior 1 here, guys. Keep that right knee either on top of or behind the ankle. And the trick here is you want to be pressing into like the pinky sides of both of your feet, and your feet are so anchored into the earth that when you're actively squeezing your inner thighs together, they're not budging. This is how you're going to get the most out of this pose. So your feet are anchored, but you're trying to squeeze your thighs together, but you're too strong, so they're not going to come together. The hips are pointing forward. The arms are reached overhead. Exhale, intertwine the fingers behind the head, just like we did when we were in mountain pose. And inhale, lift the heart, lift the sternum, little back bend here. Gaze up towards the sky. Feel the heart lift, feel the heart pulse with the breath. And then exhale, we round. And one more time, inhale, we open. Where we stay. And we hold. If this is too much for like the head and neck and the thoracic spine, you can come into a traditional warrior one. But I encourage you to breathe into this heart opener. Inhale, the arms come up, and then exhale, warrior two. Make sure your shoulders are stacked over your hips, wrists in line with your shoulders. Gaze is over the front fingertips. We're gonna hold warrior two for about 10 breaths. So be active, press through your feet and squeeze your thighs together at the same time. You're gonna feel it in your thighs and your glutes are gonna feel it in your roots. Warrior two is so powerful, guys. You have one hand in your past and it's remembering, it's collecting, it's holding on to all of the experiences that you've collected over the years. You've got one hand reaching into the future. Your goals, your vision, where you want your life to be is just there at the fingertips. But here you are, right in the middle. This balance of never giving up, never forgetting your past, but never letting go of where you want to go. One more breath here in this really powerful warrior two. Windmill both hands to the earth. Take that right foot up and back, three-legged dog, and then just peel that hip open. You can draw circles with the knee. You can point and flex the foot or the leg. And then we're going to rotate our hips so that we're in a three-legged dog. And then we're coming into pigeon pose. So draw that right knee behind the right wrist. Drop the pelvis, pigeon pose. So this is an active pigeon, guys. We're not going to come down just yet. Depending on how you're feeling in your hips and in your back, you may be able to walk your hands under your shoulders, leading to a back bend like in that lumbar spine. Maybe you're here and that's perfect too. But try and breathe that earth energy up through your spinal column, out through the crown of your head. If you want to deepen into this, you can bend the left knee, reach back with your left hand for the foot. And you're like, oh, I can reach my foot. Maybe you can like slide it into the elbow crease. This is going to be a pretty big quad stretch. This might feel really, really good or really, really tight on that front hip flexor, but just breathe into it. Maybe you're feeling super fancy and you want to come into one of these mermaids where you engage your muladhara, so you engage that like pelvic bowl. And you just reach the other arm up and over. We didn't do a lot of shoulder openers, so that might be just not too accessible. What we're focusing on is like the hip and pelvic region right now. Exhale, release if you're in any fun variation of that pose. Bringing your hands back to the mat. Untucking your left toes, lifting your hips, and coming back to three-legged dog. Maybe at this point you want to move through a vinyasa. If not, you can hang out with me in down dog for a few extra breaths. So we often forget that downward dog is a really active pose because oftentimes we come into it as a resting pose. If this is not restful enough for you in this moment, you can take child's pose. We're going to be here for 3 more breaths, feeling the energy moving through us, checking back in with those equal inhales and exhales, honoring the physical sensations of our body. And then when you're ready, you can bend the knee, you'll switch the gaze, and then you'll hop, step, or float to the front of your mat. Exhale and fold. With a nice soft back and closed eyes, you're going to inhale, roll up to a standing position. Pause for a moment in Tadasana, in mountain pose. Really ground into your practice. Are those inhales and exhales still steady? Do you need to adjust anything with the breath? And then together we'll inhale, draw the arms up overhead. Exhale, hinge at the hips as the hands move towards the earth. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, step that right foot back. We're coming into warrior one. Inhale, lift up. You got it. Warrior one. Actively pressing to the pinky sides of your feet and squeezing your inner thighs together. Hip points are forward. Intertwine the fingers behind the head here. And with your next inhale, you separate the elbows as you lift the heart, lift the sternum. Breathe into this heart opening back bend. Keep the activeness in the legs. So you're grounding here, but you're still opening up. So you're connecting to both the earth energy and to the universal energy. Exhale, we're going to round, creating some space behind the heart. And then inhale, we lift one more time. Little back bend here. What are you offering to the universe? What are you putting out? What are you emitting? Inhale, you come up, and exhale, warrior two. So settle in. You know we're going to be here for a few breaths. And once you have physically gotten into the pose, check in with yourself and how does this shape with your body make you feel mentally? How does it make you feel emotionally? So what does this shape do for you beyond the physical aspects of it? Energetically, it's this, it's this balance, never giving up and always letting go. It's embodying being in the present moment. But what does it do for you? Like, how do you feel when you are embodying the warrior two? Feel the hips opening, feel the groin opening, feel that earth energy anchoring in through your feet. Your spine is long. You're literally connecting to the earth and to the universe right now. You are this clear channel. You have your past, you have your future, and here you are, present in this moment. Exhale, windmill, both hands to the earth. Take that left foot up and back. Peel that hip open. It's going to feel nice. Maybe you draw circles. Maybe you point and flex. And then we're coming into that active pigeon pose. So square off the hip, left knee, left wrist, drop the pelvis, active pigeon pose. So it's okay if you need to, like wedge something under your left hip. You're totally allowed to do that. This might be a lot on your thoracic spine. Or your lumbar spine. You don't have to be in such a deep back bend here. Now, if you want, and you want to play with the fun variations of this, you're going to, honestly, guys, it's like doing a Kegel. You're going to engage the pelvic floor. We call this a bandha or like a lock. A bandha means lock, an energy lock. So the Muladhara is at the base of your spine. So this is the Mula Bandha. So it's the earth lock, the energy lock for the earth chakra. So you guys can peek on the screen if you want to. So I'm just relaxed here. My pelvis is heavy. And now I'm engaged. I'm literally lifting up like 2 inches. So this is how you get into those fun like mermaid poses. And then you bend the back knee and reach back with the hands. This is it. You don't have to do this other fun arm variation. But keep that root lock. And I'll go into bandhas a little bit more next week. But this is a really great way to explore and introduce it into your practice. So let's spend just a few more moments here. Maybe you release the leg and you just work on that, like that engaging of the Mula Bandha. That it really is kind of like doing a Kegel, and that gives you that extra like intertube lift. This is also a secret for all of those float forwards and some of the other poses where you're like, how do they do that? It's literally bandhas. So hands come back to the earth. You're going to tuck the toes. Be super mindful of that right knee as you take it up and back for 3-legged dog. Maybe you shift through a vinyasa. And then together, we're actually going to meet in child's pose. So nice closed knee to child's pose whenever you get there. I'm on my forearms because I'm going to be chatty with you, but you can bring your hands alongside your ankles and rest your forehead. I like to stack my palms and rest my forehead that way. If you want a little bit more stretch for your spine and your back, you can walk your arms forward. However, we're going to be here for like 12 more breaths. Nice long child's pose. It's often when we slow down in our yoga practice that it actually becomes hard. And it's hard because then we're left alone with our thoughts. You're no longer distracted by all these crazy shapes the instructor is trying to get you into. So here you are, still on your mat. What is the tone of your thoughts? What's running through your mind right now? And is it something that you want to be thinking about in this moment? Because you get to choose. You have complete control over what's going on in there. We've got about 4 more breaths here. Can you think of 4 things that you want to let go of? And with each exhale, let them go. And we're coming into Anahata Asana, heart melting pose, puppy pose. So from your child's pose, you're just going to lift your feet so that your hips are stacked over your knee. And then you're going to walk your arms in front of you until your either forearms come to the mat. Maybe for some of us, our chest will come to the mat. For some, you can rest your chin. For others, it'll be the forehead. This is a lot on my right shoulder. So personally, I keep this one bent and don't overextend my right shoulder. Heart melting pose. It's exactly what we're doing. We're offering our heart to the earth. A fun little like science fact about the heart is that it actually gives off a measurable electromagnetic field. It's scientifically proven. Your heart gives off an electromagnetic field. So can you feel it? Can you feel how big your heart is radiating out from beyond your body? Sliding with the inhale, coming on to our navels. We're going to pause in a little back bend, Sphinx pose. A little bit more heart opening here, guys. Shoulders stacked over the elbows. Pressing the pubic bone, so pressing that Muladhara into the earth. Inhaling, creating space through the spine, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, and then drawing the collarbones through the front of the shoulder. So you're trying to lift the lower ribs off of the mat. So you're pressing the pubic bone down and you're lifting the spine up. If you want to deepen into this, you can bend both knees. This is going to apply a little bit more compression to that base of your spine. Keep pressing through the elbows, guys. This is not passive. You should be quite active in your pose here. And then exhale, release. We're going to stack our palms. And you can bend the knees and just kind of sway our seagrass out through the hips here. And then release. And let's just find a moment in stillness, in constructive rest. Our practice isn't over. We still have time together, but how do you want to finish your practice? What do you want your practice to look like? Are you willing and ready to let something go? You're on the earth. Can you give it back to the earth? We're going to draw our right knee in line with our right hip for half frog pose. You can maintain the stacked palms and rest your forehead. I encourage you to Exhale and release any like tightness or tension in that right hip and the right glute and the right thigh. On a physical level, this pose is great for if you ever experience like sciatic discomfort. This is also a very gentle hip opener. This is also a very grounding pose. We're literally on the earth. So this is a great opportunity, guys, to offer whatever it is that you just don't want to hold on to anymore. You can offer it to the earth. I'm going to start to bring some energy into our shoulders here and slide the left hand underneath and through the right armpit. I like to make a fist with my right hand and then stack or rest my head on that fist. And then you can kind of decide how much weight or pressure you want to apply to that left shoulder. Start to slow down your exhale. And then inhale, draw the right arm up. And exhale, open up, supine twist. It's okay if the right knee comes off of the mat. What you want is both shoulder blades on the mat. The exhales are long and slow. The body is soft. As you're preparing yourself for Shavasana. Downshifting your nervous system, putting yourself in a state of rest. We're going to come out of this pose the same way we came in, making our way back onto our stomachs. If you need a little movement, you can always rock out through the hips. And then when you're ready, you'll slide that left knee in line with your left hip. And then just rest here. That's all you have to do. So if you feel that, your hips are a little bit tight, ask yourself, what are you holding on to emotional wise that you can let go of? Your physical body is this final manifestation of your energy body. So if you've got tightness in your hips right now, like your tight glutes or tight thigh, not only consciously tell the muscle group to relax, but what are you carrying around with you that you don't necessarily need to anymore? This is that time to give it up. Give it to the earth. We're going to slide our right hand through the left armpit, getting a stretch for the right shoulder here. Making a fist with your left hand and stacking your head on it if you want to. It's just an option. And then one more time, inhaling, opening up, and exhaling, landing in supine twist. Nice long supine twist here. Let the muscles of the face be soft. The gaze is soft, or maybe the eyes are closed. The exhales are long and patient. You just feel your body just starting to set into that relaxation mode. You feel the little bits of tension releasing from the body with each exhale. And when you're ready, we're just going to shift onto our back. We'll draw both knees into the chest. Maybe you take a happy baby if you enjoy them. Getting any final wiggles or movement out. Letting that energy go. And when you're ready, you're going to surrender into your Shavasana. The feet are wider than the hips. Your shoulders are comfortably drawn down the back. You can feel the rhythm of your heart. As you breathe and relax, can you feel the muscles of your face softening? The tightness in your neck and shoulders releasing. Feel that energy pulsing through you. As the abdomen softens, as your waist and your hips and your glutes soften. Feel any tension in your legs and your feet. Let go. As you surrender into Shavasana. You're welcome to stay in this space, this peaceful space of Shavasana, for as long as you like. But when you're ready and it's time to come back, begin by witnessing your body lying in stillness. Witness your body just being held by the earth. Observe all the spaciousness that you've created, the softness in the areas that were once rigid. And then you begin to fill up. With each inhale, you're breathing in this fresh life force, prana, chi. And you're filling all of those spaces that you created with this abundance of new energy. You're wiggling your fingers and your toes, inviting movement into this new expression of yourself. You can hug your knees in towards your chest, or maybe you take a full body stretch. And then when you're ready, you roll to your side body where you connect with this present moment. Take a conscious breath in. And then shift yourself up into a comfortable seat. Bringing the hands together at heart center in a sign of gratitude. And in honor of all that you are. Namaste.